Hey everybody, come on in. This is Yankey Show, the Shawn Yankey Show. We're just gonna go by my name moving forward and simplify it all the way down, make it really easy to share, and help build the image up. I want to do more activism and public awareness stuff, make motivational videos for moving society forward, different things like that. So it's going to help in all kinds of different ways. And it puts us all underneath one umbrella. So come on in. We're going to hang out, have a regular show every night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Right here. Everywhere I just posted it until the other pages take me down. Our Revolution, War Room, and Yankee Show, those are mine. Join those pages. Those are never going anywhere. Everywhere else, I'm a guest. So until I've overstayed my welcome, I'll continue to come from those pages as well. But other than that, I haven't been able to share it, and I was trying to do it while the music was playing, but all I was really able to do was make sure that the audio was good. But let me get that music out of here. What do you think of that intro music anyway? I made that on a Music Maker app. I think it's pretty cool. Well, let me see. There's a couple here on Facebook. Looks like we're up and good. Doesn't look like... Well, maybe Facebook's not up. I don't know. I can't really tell. But YouTube is. And Twitter is. So we're going to keep moving forward. I think it's odd that... Well, Facebook says we are live. So I'm just going to press forward. And... This is the first episode where we've called ourselves the Yankey Show. And all I really know what to say about what we're going to be about moving forward is the truth. The pursuit of the truth. I don't claim to be an expert on it, or even an expert on every subject that we'll cover or talk about. But that's what this show is going to be for. Free thought, free expression, free conversation, just good conversation where we learn and grow from each other. That's what we've always had at every feed I've ever done, is a great group and great conversation. So we are a live show. Please take part. The comment section drives everything I've ever done ever since I began live streaming. I've been doing this for about 4 years. We've done all kinds of different shows. Some of you know me from the most recent show we've been doing, The Daily Burn. It's a show for the political revolution, which I still believe in, and we'll still talk about those things from time to time. And just all under one umbrella now. Some of you know me from the Conspiracy Theory show. I've been doing that for years. So all of those people can be brought into the same umbrella now, and everybody can be incorporated and involved. So, and if you knew me from the rant stuff, you'll like this as well, because I get carried away from time to time. So I don't know if it's going to happen, but it could happen. I think it's very odd. Facebook, I'm trying to work on it if you're here to see your comments. I will get it fixed, but I am going to continue to try to go through and talk about what I was going to say. But this is just to incorporate everything under one umbrella. And I know a lot of people are upset. We had a feed earlier, and I kind of rigged democracy to get my way, because we were almost named the Big Yank. And I like it. I really do. And I made a lot of art for it today, and just stuff to put up on the screen, things like the promo stuff, the stuff that's next to the TV here for the Big Yank. And I liked it. And I really do. I still like it. I want to make a t-shirt, maybe do a segment where we yank the rug out from some lie, and expose something and just call it the Big Yank. And Helen even had a tagline for the t-shirt, and so I guess I gotta cut Helen in. But I'm trying to get Facebook's comments where I can see them. If this makes noise, I apologize. I gotta cut Helen in. There we go. Let me get that up. But sorry. Alright, now I should be able to see some comments. Why can I not? Comments. Why can I not? Alright, I don't understand that. Comments. Why can I not? Can I fix it? I guess not. I don't understand what's wrong there. It's really weird. I've never had that problem before. That kind of sucks because we're an interactive show, so I'm completely on my own. YouTube, the entire thing is on you. Everyone is counting on you because, as you well know, with a weak comment section, this can get derailed quickly. But I do have an agenda. I have some topics written down to get into during the feed that I wanted to talk about. One of the main things is, because I was doing the Daily Burn for the last 6 months, I felt like we have to at least address this. You know, with Bernie suspending his campaign, with how everybody feels. We've been talking about it a lot over the last couple of days and touching on it, but I feel like it's time to start talking about moving forward, and then also time to get a perspective on the fact that while I haven't come to my complete conclusion yet and how I feel and all of that, and it's still piecing itself together, Brittany says Facebook is working. It's not showing me any comments, guys. I'm going to try and I don't know what to do, honestly, while we're going. But let me see. I don't know why it would do that to me. It's really odd. There we go. Comments. Let me get in here. I think I got it, guys. I apologize. But this is the fun of live streaming. We have all kinds of this kind of stuff going on. I don't know why it would. Lisa says, I heard Vermont is lit. Are we moving to Vermont? We relocating? We setting up a commune? You tell me if we're doing this, guys. Because Jack is going to push for Oregon. I can see Facebook now, guys. Thank you, Brittany. But what was I saying? Get me back on track. He says, can we secede from the union and move to Vermont and name Bernie Sanders our president? I think we can if we get enough people to do it. It definitely would be something we could try to do. I'm on board. How close is Vermont to Oregon, Jack? Brittany says there's like 15 people. I could see that there were people there. It's just weird that it was not showing me any comments. So, but we got around it. I figured it out. Edward says, are we getting throttled or what the frick? We are getting messed with. It just messes with me. It's weird. And I'm going to sound paranoid, but it's true. They do mess with me. And in my live studio, I wish I could show it to you if I went to the screen capture set, but it just looks, there's nothing. There's no one here. It just says live and it's flashing, but no numbers, nothing. I had to pull Facebook up in another tab on the computer to be able to see your comments. And I don't know why it's not keeping up with them. Did you? Let's see. What? I'm so discouraged right now. Where was I? I'm going to go to my notes. I was talking about how Bernie didn't fail us. What Bernie did for us is priceless. He empowered the people. He woke us. He taught us how to organize, how to group together. And if we take all that knowledge and everything that he taught us, we can move forward. And that's what we must do. That's kind of what I wanted the theme to be before we had all the little difficulties with Facebook. And thanks, Facebook, by the way. But that's what I wanted it to be about, is moving forward. And that's what this is moving forward. Just so it's all centralized in one place. But he didn't fail us. He did what he did, and we can get into talking about that. We can dice it up. But for now, I just wanted to talk about how everything he did for us and everything he said he was going to do, he did, I think. He empowered us. He showed us how to fight. And that's what we do now. We move forward. We have our own yellow vest moment. It's our time. This was Bernie or vest. This was never Bernie or bust. So now we've arrived at vest. And the DNC must be destroyed. They must be torn down. I fully believe that we cannot let that corrupt corporation continue to exist and profit off the American people anymore. So that's all they are. They're gatekeepers. They're fakes. They're just there to stop progressives from getting through. And that's their only purpose. So they need to be destroyed. They need to be torn down. They're an enemy of progress. So that's something that I think that immediately we need to be focused on, is taking all the corruption out of our government as much as you can. But yesterday, Paul was talking about focusing on small, local government more and getting involved in that. Like, I've talked about this before, but Babels ran for alderman. She won. She's an alderman now. She goes to meetings. She's involved in things. It's really cool, and I'm proud of her. But everybody can do stuff like that, and that's what we should do, is get involved and run for all these little local offices and things like that, and get involved in government and stay vigilant. The presidential election would have been a golden ticket to revolution. We would have motivated millions of people. Still could. We'll get to that, I guess, if you guys want to, but would have motivated millions of people. A lot of people need to see a victory before they'll even get involved in a fight. They need to see that something's possible before they'll join in. They don't want to be part. I am stalling a little bit because I'm still not seeing your comments. I don't know what's going on Facebook. I'm going to refresh the page. It's upsetting me. I'm just so rattled by the technical difficulties. It's upsetting me. See? Here we go. Got it. Lisa says, I don't want to be near the Ring of Fire, though. That's a nice spot over by Idaho. Lots of people homesteading. Got it. We're on the same page now. Thank you. Thank you. I felt lost in the wilderness without you guys. That was aggravating me, because I tried to stream this. I did this and I shouldn't have did it. I tried to cross stream. Tried to get fancy and stream to, like, I'm an admin or an editor on, about 6 pages, including 2 of my own. So I just streamed to all of them, and it blocked me from seeing the comments somehow. Susan says California can be a nation all by ourselves. Keep ignoring our requests for PPE and vents. You would miss our 15% tax donations to you, DC. You know, California has flirted with seceding a lot, and they could be a nation all by themselves. What is the population of California? A lot of people live in California. It has a lot of power, and it benefits, she's right, the economy in a big way. Jack says we would all love it in Oregon. Well, how much we got? We got to buy some land. That's the first thing. We're going to have to get a good piece of land. How many acres would we need, by the way, do you think, to start out, to make a good beginning commune? It needs to be a strong society, too. We're going to have to really talk about this and work it out. Moving forward, that'll be something to discuss. Did Heath leave? Oh, he's still here. 40 miles, population, 40 million. Somebody should get that. I'm just so happy that I figured out how to see the comments. Did you guys see that Dr. Fauci wants there to be immunity cards that everybody carries to prove that you've had the vaccine when the vaccine is made? I'm uncomfortable with that kind of talk. You know, is that weird? Does that make me weird? I know that Clinton. Oh, Clinton's here. Why am I seeing comments now in the studio? Oh, I don't know who that is, Clinton. So I'd have to research. He told me a breaking story, and I feel out completely in the wilderness. Brittany says I got my poster today from donating when he did the concert with Public Enemy. You mean this one? I still need to get a frame. But yeah, I got that one too. I'm still gonna hang it. I'm still putting it up. It's still going on my wall. He's still a hero of mine. He still did amazing work, still continues to do amazing work. I find it impossible to be mad at him. And, you know, I'm open to all possibilities. I'm open to the fact that his life's in danger. I really don't know. I know the man was risking his life speaking to power like that and empowering the people. So I just know that I've already made my mind up. I want this change to happen. I want this change to be a reality. I want these things to become real. I've already imagined a world where there is health care for all, there is justice in society, everybody is paid a living wage and lives with dignity. We are moving towards a future and things that benefit society. I've made my mind up that we can do those things. So I want us to keep moving in the direction, in that direction, towards doing those kind of things. He says Bernie is amazing. That's true. I'm still a huge supporter of Bernie Sanders, and I'll do everything he asked me to do, probably, other than vote what he says. But he told us not to do that. You know, for me, and that's the only reason there would have been to say something like that. Like, he said it he said it more than once. If I tell you who to vote for, don't listen to me. You know? The only reason to say that is because he knows that sometimes he might be held hostage and have to cry for help. And I think when he voted or said to vote for Hillary, that was him crying for help, letting everybody know I doing what I have to do. But you don't have to listen to me. Remember when I told you? That's the way I always looked at it. Jack says, I'm a great hunter and fisherman and I could build a log house and get firewood. Well, what am I going to do? I don't know. That's what I worry about. Babels is the same way as Jack. My Babels is a country girl, grew up on a farm. She can do literally everything and would be a leader in the society, I'm sure. And what is my gig? You know, just like fireside chats and sitting around telling stories. Lisa says she's handy. See, all these people are going to serve purposes, and then I'm going to be dragging around in the... No, I'm just kidding. Lisa says we need your jokes. Joan says, I don't think he could ask for donations when we're in such a crisis, and after Wisconsin, he could see our lives are being put in danger. There's a lot of reasons why he might have ended or suspended his suspended his campaign. And I'm going to think about it even more and more moving forward and come to some conclusion. But for now, I know that we move forward. That's the central theme. Moving forward. Everything moves forward. I don't want to go backwards. It's bugging me, this computer. It's not the computer. I know it's not the computer. But it's bugging me that Facebook is not showing comments that I know are there. I got 2 tabs open for Facebook. They mess with you in weird ways. Yeah, that's, if you want to know what, if some people play this, sometimes House of Public Discourse page will take this show and put it to audio, or they told me they're going to. I don't know if they actually ever did that, but they told me they would. They would ask me for permission anyway. So if they do that, if you want to visualize Jack, he's really, really tall and big, like looks like a Santa. If you had to pick a huge Santa. And he's a Harley rider. That is a good Santa on a Harley, Jack. That's what Carol had said. He said, I can build electrical systems. I was going to say electoral systems. Man, we would have to string you up. Electrical systems, though, we're going to need. Jack can garden and grow cannabis. I can sit around and tell stories. We got this. No, but I think that immunity card stuff, I don't know what you guys think of that, but that's a little weird, you know, and where's the limit? You know, I know I'm immediately going to be gaslighted that I'm trying to be anti-vax or something. I'm not saying that. But Bill Gates, who is nobody, why is anybody even listening to Bill Gates right now? Why is he getting so much attention and he's all over television, but he didn't ask me anything on Reddit? And this man puts large amounts of money into just this kind of thing. He says he wants to come up with digital tracking. Dr. Fauci, or however you say his name, wants immunity cards. So everybody to be registered that you have this vaccine. Have you heard of something like that ever? But have you heard of any of this? The whole thing is super weird with the social distancing and all of that. This reaction to this virus, I don't know. I'm either dead wrong and this is super serious but it looked like it's flattening. I don't know. Could be lulling you into a false sense of security. It could be the Black Plague. It's how they're acting. Or it could be that they're taking advantage and strengthening their hold on society and getting us conditioned to live in a different way. I don't know. I see things like immunity cards. I hear people like Bill Gates talking about digital tracking. And I start feeling like, man, these conspiracy people you guys talk about all the time, they're making a lot of sense right now. You know, they've spelled this all out, and everything's falling into place. And if Clinton's still here, this kind of fell apart, so I don't know if he is. And there's breaking news, so he might have been distracted. But I forgot what I was going to say. Isn't that beautiful? That's amazing. Carol says, don't forget Bill Gates introduced the fake mosquito. The fake mosquito? What is a fake mosquito? Lisa says she saw photos of Fauci and Bill Gates together. He says immunity card equals garbage. I don't like that idea at all. I realize that's just the doctor, and he, again, just like when I said Bill Gates, he has no real authority. It's not like he can make it happen. But Bill Gates is going a step further and saying that it should be injected. A digital tracking device, basically RFID, injected into you through the vaccine. And that everybody be required to get the vaccine. Brittany says it's always the 1% suggesting that kind of stuff, and that never lets me trust it. I don't know why you're not allowed to say that. I guess because she said the S word. But YouTube flags comments. There's so much censorship going on. But YouTube does that because they'll pull your channel. You're responsible for your viewers on YouTube. Isn't that weird? And they're stricter about written speech than they are spoken. I can cuss. This isn't fair at all. But if commenters on my feed are too vulgar, I can get pulled. That's weird. They're stricter on the comments. Lisa said F Bill Gates. Oh, you're damn right. Bill Gates is way into depopulation. And watch him talk. Watch him talk sometimes. When he says disturbing things, he'll laugh in a really weird way. Almost like he's in on a joke that no one else is. He's a creepy, creepy dude. Minimal. But I think there's some nefarious stuff going on with Bill Gates. And I want to look into how much foreknowledge, for instance, Bill Gates had. Now, there was an event right before this outbreak, Event 201, and he funded it. Him and the John Hopkins, I can't talk today for whatever reason. But anyways, he was the money behind this event, and they planned exactly this scenario. And it's happening right now. That is a coincidence that I can't let go. I don't understand the odds of that. And then he steps down from Microsoft right before this gets full blown and going, and then falls right into this leadership role in the pandemic crisis. Jones says businesses in the USA are already implanting microchips in their employees. That is true. I remember seeing that. Years ago. There was that company, and all their employees were volunteering and tripping over themselves and lining up to get this RFID chip that would make it easier for them to clock in and out, I guess, and log into their work computer. I would never let somebody inject me with a tracking device. Never. Hey, Helen. Why can I see Helen's comment over here and not over here? What did I do wrong? Whatever it is, I'll never do it again, guys, because I've been distracted by it the entire time. So all we really accomplished today was unveiling that we have a consistent name, a consistent time. I'm being hard on myself, but I'm getting angry because I always have technical problems. It's weird. Clinton and Helen are over here. Everyone else is over here, which makes me wonder how many other people I couldn't see at all. But did you see that Bloomberg's firm is trying to push to take over Joe Biden's? The firm that he owns, which has a really cryptic name, Hawkfish. That was the most fascinating point of the article, and what really hooked me into reading the whole damn thing anyway, is the name of his firm, Hawkfish. Well, anyways, they ran his presidential campaign, and they are in serious talks to serve the presidential campaign of Joe Biden. I knew that man didn't spend $250 million to play Let's Run for President. That didn't make any sense at all. So Bloomberg is coming back around and is at least going to be money in keeping the Biden campaign going, if not a replacement for Biden. I got my money on Bloomberg. If I was going to bet that they're going to pull Bloomberg back into the race to replace Joe Biden, they're going to replace Joe Biden. But it could be like someone like Cuomo or maybe a Buttigieg or someone that had dropped out earlier. But it won't be Joe Biden come July. There's no way he makes it to the convention. I have no faith in that. Lisa says Bloomberg is scum. He says I saw a headline about that today. Yeah, it caught my attention, and then I got in there reading it. And this firm has burned through nearly $1 billion in less than 4 months. Hawkfish. Just in propaganda and interfering in this, probably mostly in this election. And that's a lot of money for one man to be spending to stop. And what else? What other reason? It can't all be to stop the revolution. One person spent over $1 billion, his foundation so far, just them, and he spent that much of his personal money. What, 150, 200 million, running for president as well? That's crazy. Lisa says Bloomberg donates like $80 million to the DNC last month. But think about how much he gets to hide in organizations like Hawkfish. And probably think about how many more organizations like that he has to hide things and bury things around. Jones says, how can you be so sure they aren't inserting something with that COVID test swab they shove in your nose till it almost hits your ear? You can't be. You can't be, honestly. And I'm not closed off to that possibility that they would sneak it on you. I think they want to get us chipped. I really do. I think it's part of their agenda and something that they want to do. And they're open about it. A lot of these oligarchs, like Bill Gates, who attends these Bilderberg meetings and is in the big club. Bill Gates is a member of the big club that we're all not in. He's in it. He has inside knowledge. And they all push for it. These elites. Brittany says, thinking Trump, Biden, and Bloomberg being president makes me so frustrated. Did you hear talk of Obama stepping in with Biden? What? That would be crazy. It would be like a movie at that point. I would start wondering who wrote this and when did the credits roll. This can't be reality. No, I can't imagine Obama joining in. That's crazy. Edward says Panama Papers, they're all in on it. Yes. It's a big club. I need to cover that. Someone asked me, Robert asked me to cover that. I need to cover that in a video coming up, the Panama Papers. Everybody needs to refresh their memory on certain things. I'm hoping some people can help me with that. The research of that kind of stuff. I'm going to spend a lot more time on that stuff and try to get better at spreading the truth and raising awareness about a lot of these important issues, like the Panama Papers, and informing people about stuff like that. But Lisa says they don't need to chip us as long as we can all be tracked by our smartphones that we all have in our pocket and carry around at all times. And they release heat maps all the time during this virus outbreak. Haven't you been seeing that? Where they show who's been respecting the lockdown, and they can show you a heat map of the United States and exactly what areas are respecting it and which ones aren't. They know where everybody's at. They got us tracked. We carry our surveillance device willingly, and then we put extra ones in our house. It's really weird. Carol says, check out the genetic modified mosquitoes released in Florida and Texas. I ain't lying. Oh, I believe you. And I will check that out. That's the stuff I want to start learning about and exposing. Things like that. Spreading truth like that. He says the bad part is the person giving the test doesn't realize they may be the ones getting someone sick. Jack says just not everyone has one. What is he talking about? I don't know. Sometimes, see, it doesn't show me if you're replying to someone else's comment or if you're talking to me. But I don't trust Bill Gates. And he is behind the vaccine for this, at least. I don't know how much power the man actually has, but he's funding this vaccine research. He said he's opened they're building 7 factories, and they will move forward with 7 versions of the vaccine. And even though they'll only use 2, he says, they're going to move forward with 7 different ones. And he's putting all that money in. So he's heavily invested in it. Jack says, Will they know that I have been riding my Harley? The man? Don't worry about the man, Jack. I see people, like I said, we're busier right now during the lockdown. There's a $1,700 fine for being out. A first offense, if they can prove you weren't on an essential task. And then second offense, 48 hours in jail and a $2,000 fine. And more people are out than there were before the lockdown. It's almost like telling them no made them want to go out more. I bet if they did one of those heat sensor maps of Missouri, at least my general area and what I'm seeing would be bright red. Because no one is respecting the lockdown that I'm seeing. I expected to see empty streets and nobody out, just a ghost town. But no. Joan says we're replying to the smartphone comment. Oh, not everyone has one. You don't have a smartphone? Jack, you do. You know my boss at work, he is old school. He has a flip phone. A flip phone. Really. Not the new one that they made that's like also a smartphone. I'm talking about the old one where you got to press 7 like 6 times to get a T. That kind of flip phone. What do you guys want to talk about though? Because I feel like I got distracted. I'm being hard on myself. I was nervous. I don't know why. Something about naming this after me made me nervous. But I just want to simplify it. That was really the point. I hope that that got across at least. I just wanted to simplify what we were doing and get it all on one page. So it was all... Carol says you miss your flip phone. I had a Razor, And I used to love that snake game. You ever think back on the stuff that you used to be fascinated with? It quickly has changed over the years. But when you think back on stuff like that, it's funny to me at least that I used to sit and play that snake game forever. Never got bored of that game. And now it probably wouldn't hold my attention for 30 seconds. Brittany says, I was so broke a couple years ago that I only had a work flip phone. So crazy living like that in today's society. Yeah, it is weird. It would be weird. I just had my phone die on me. It was a cheap little prepaid Walmart phone, and it lasted me a good year and a half, but it just died in my hand. Fried out and fizzled and just dead. So Babel's got me a new one for my birthday, luckily, but I didn't have one for like 2 days. And I felt so weird without it. I made jokes on Facebook about how I'm a former cyborg and, things are weird. They were weird. It felt really weird. I never realized how addicted I am to that thing until I didn't have it for two days. It was only 2 days. It felt so much longer than that. Lisa, drop them. All interaction in the show helps. And even though this was kind of scattered all over the place, I know I'm too hard on myself. So I know there's more value here than I'm giving it credit for. Minimal. So drop them memes, and that'll give me something to look at when I watch it back. I love interaction in the show too, by the way. Any interaction. So if you're here later on even, because we get about 70% of our views after the feed. A lot of people miss the live and watch it later on. So if you're here later, comment as well, because I try to respond and I love reading all the comments. So please take part in the show. Joan says, be proud of what you're doing and the recognition you will be getting. I am proud. I'm proud. I'm just nervous. I don't know why, because I built it up in my head. That's what you do. You set yourself up for failure because you build it all up in your head. But it's everything's going fine. I shouldn't have brought it up, but I only did it because I'm always 100% honest. Whatever's on my mind falls out of my mouth. Did he say, what is a flip phone? Wait a minute. How old is Heath? I'm just teasing. I know you know what a flip phone is. I was just kidding. I don't know how. Wait. See, it doesn't show me if it's whenever I don't understand it, I'm going to assume it's a reply. This has never happened. Facebook has never given me a problem being able to see the comments. We always have interesting technical difficulties that are something new. Azora said, my first big conspiracy interest was the flat earth globe deception. And Azora says, I was not able to see the comments on Facebook either. That is super odd. I'm glad to see it affected someone else. Anyone else that ran into that problem during this feed, I apologize to you because I really don't know why it's happening. It's never happened before. And I thought with a name like Shawn Yankey Show, just using my name, we wouldn't pick up anything on the radar. It would be basically like calling the show Petting Kittens. But no, we're getting messed with. But I had the conspiracy theory show, I had a flat earther on. And I've watched a good deal of flat earth videos from the perspective that the earth is flat. And they are very interesting. I'm interested in that conspiracy. I love conspiracies. I like the thought process of it, and I find them fascinating. But there's a lot of people I've met through different conspiracies, like the flat earth and others. This is distracting me. I got to stop letting it distract me. That the comments I know they don't match up with what's going on in reality. because other people are telling me now that they can't see the comments either. So I don't know why they throttle things the way they do. And sometimes I worry or wonder. Moving forward, I want to grow and get it out and spread it to more people and make it into something bigger. The truth doesn't have much a shot in this world unless we really fight for it and protect it and defend it and help it grow. Because stuff like this is just not popular, and they do all they can to discourage and shut it down. Lisa says, I wish I had the courage to do what you're doing. Yeah, it is hard to do, honestly. I just am not really uncomfortable in front of the camera. I found that out by accident. My first live stream that I ever did, I was actually just a little bit drunk and pressed the button. People flirt with it all the time. I did anyway. And one day I just pressed the button and I started talking, and I liked it. And then I kept doing it. And for some reason, people wanted to listen to what I was saying. So I ended up falling in love with it and wanting to do better and better little shows to keep people interested so people would want to come around. And then just evolved into what it is today over the years. But they never have messed with me so hard. I took off in a video. I think I got on their radar is what I did. There was a video we were doing a feed on Julian Assange. And all of a sudden, some people that are here today were at that feed. All of a sudden, it went up to, I'm telling you, close to 800 something people there at the time. And I was holding their attention. It wasn't like it just happened once. It was for like an hour we held that many people's attention. And it got like 12,000 views during the live. Ever since then, I've been having really weird problems. And I know it's not just being paranoid. It's just really odd to me. Everybody's comments have slowed down. I never realize how much I rely on the comments until I get that luxury or that crutch pulled out from underneath me. Lisa says, what's the logic behind no fishing or camping? What's the logic behind not being able to save rainwater? What's the logic behind not being able to grow a garden in your yard? What's the logic behind a lot of these pointless laws? There's none. And the only real reason there would be for them is to keep people from being able to be self-sustaining and support themselves and not be dependent on the system. He said, I thought the house blocked that from happening. Just being out for no reason, Jack said. Is that something you miss? I bet a lot of the coffee drinkers at the restaurant really miss just being out, hanging out, talking about the news, sharing their day. And I wonder how much of that will never go back to normal. Because some of it's never going to. We're not going completely back to normal, I really don't think. They're ordering permanent things for the floor where I work to show people where to stand. This is not temporary. Social distancing. This is the new normal. And then they've installed like these bank teller like plexiglass protective things even in the windows. So you only have like that much room to put out your hand for money basically and put the bag out. This is the new normal. This is the way things is going to be. They're going to have us scared to death for a long time, and then they're going to want us all to get this vaccine, and they're going to want to track everybody that's got it. I'm worried how far things will go because it's problem, reaction, solution. I don't want to get too nutty here or go too theory. We can if you want, but go too theory side with this. Just saying, they take advantage of stuff like this. Bottom line. That's a fact. They always do. They never let a good crisis go to waste. So they're going to take full advantage of it. We need to be very vigilant and watch them during this time. Be careful what we give up in the interest of safety. We'll give up a lot when we're afraid. They take full advantage of that. They have stuff on the back burner they've been waiting to do for a long period of time, that they're waiting for something like this to come along so they can jar the people and sneak it in there. That's the way they do it. Lisa says to keep us dependent on Monsanto for seeds. There is a viewer that has been trying to get me to cover GMOs forever. I'm going to start researching the hell out of stuff like that. I'm really going to start devoting myself to a lot more research to make special videos on that. I want to do more of that. I used to do more of that. Like one of the first things we did for the YouTube channel was a video for paper ballots. It made me remember that the other day when somebody brought it up. We did a video on election rigging for someone asked me to do it. I like doing that kind of stuff. I need to get back to doing more of that. So I am going to research GMOs. I'd love to talk about it. I just don't know enough. And I was going to reach out and see if there's anybody to interview on that particular topic and stuff like that. Because we need to talk about all that kind of stuff. Jack says they've closed some hunting season, bear and turkey. Now, why wouldn't you be able to hunt and fish? Those are things, is that what you were talking about? Those are things you do pretty much by yourself. Isn't social isolation a big part of both of those things? You don't sit in big groups and hunt and fish, do you? So why wouldn't you be able to do that? Edward says GMO seeds don't bear fruit. Heirloom seeds, they're the only way. Lisa says schools here in California are canceled for the rest of the year. Here in Missouri, too. I think they've called the year where we live. I'm 98% sure. I know they won't go back. The teachers were already talking about that weeks ago. They ain't going back. Joan says a lot of places won't allow that either. Well, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about how far it'll go. Brittany says, so excited about the homesteading content coming. I've been wanting to start a channel on that for a while, toes in with GMOs. The homesteading oh, I get it now. I'm behind. I'm still a little dizzy. It's bugging me because, like Helen, for instance, and Clinton, these are people I really would like to hear from, and I don't know why some people are being suppressed and kept from the feed, and I'm getting distracted by it. Edward says Central Valley here out until August. What out of what? Oh, at school? Yeah, they're done. We're going to have to be self-sufficient, so it is time for stuff like homesteading. We're going to have to learn to take care of ourselves and grow those strengths. So people that already have those skills are going to be very valuable. And we need to learn how to take care of ourselves and be self-sustaining. In case things like the internet is pulled away, the power grid goes down, you never know what can happen. I have no more faith in this system that lords over us. I want us to be able to take care of ourselves the best that we can, the best that we possibly could. That I'm always reminded, especially recently, that I've lost my faith in politics, which I honestly have. I may get some of it back, but mostly I'm done with politics right now. But there's a Killer Mike speech that keeps running through my head. Wasn't really a speech. He was at a round table, and he was talking about how we're not ready to rise up. You know, he was like, there's a room full of people, and he was like, everybody put your hand up if you know how to grow your own food, if you know how to garden. You know, some people put their hands up. All right, now put your hand up if you know how to use a firearm. you're familiar with firearms and firearm safety and stuff like that, and able to defend yourself with a firearm. Some of the hands went down. How many of you know self-defense? More hands went down. How many of you are saved up and stocked up on the things that you would need until you were able to reproduce them on your own? Almost every hand went down. And he's like, I ain't ready to rise up. That's what we need to do, is get ourselves in a position where we are strong. Start working on us, I believe, and direct action. Things that we can do in our own lives. Carol says, I don't buy meat from the grocery stores. He says, hand up. He said it like, what does hand up mean? Does that make the little thing? Is that what that does? Is that how you do that? I don't know how to do that stuff. I sound idiotic right now, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make the little pictures in text. I never have been into that stuff enough to learn it. I like it when people use it. It's interesting, and it makes it more interesting to read, but I never took the time to learn it. That's got to be what that is. But thanks for watching and hanging out tonight. I would keep going. We're having a good time, but tonight I got other arrangement, something that with Babos that we got to do for my birthday. We're going out. I'm going to have dinner tonight, so I promised to wrap it up at about an hour. But thanks for coming, and thanks for coming earlier if you came to help us pick a name. This is what we'll call it from now on, and that way it's consistent. And then when you see it, you know it, and we can talk about anything we want. And if there's something special, like if I want to get into a conspiracy, or talk about a specific topic, we can promote it that way. And then everybody will know. But that way it's consistent. And like for branding reasons and things like that, like Azora was saying earlier, it makes it easier to share and get it out. And it's easier for it to grow. So everybody will be able to identify it. But thanks for coming and hanging out and putting up with the technical problems that we had tonight. Next week we won't have any. You'll see. It won't happen for 6 months now. And then we'll be slammed into all of a sudden. So every time you get lulled into a sense of security, technology will smack you right in the face. It works great. It's great when it works, but it doesn't always work. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you Monday on the next episode of the Shawn Yankey Show.